lining in this silver cloud is the fact that the pitchers are ready to go. They didn't have to work and then pause. They just took a 2-hour delay.
Yeah, they just took a 2-hour delay. I'm sure for Levon, he opened some mail. He signed some baseball cards, got that out of the way. Probably for Nolasco, he probably watched some show on TV for the last couple of hours. But these guys want to play. That's why they would stay till midnight and start the game at midnight. So you're going to see just as good a ball game, even though we had a 2-hour rain delay. Well,
and maybe Levon can be the first guy to keep the Marlins from scoring in the first inning of this series. Mike Stanton, 7 of 9 after his 5 for 5 last night. Good-looking rookie. And, of course, the lineup the same as it has been the last couple of nights, except that Brett Hayes gets the call behind the plate and not Ronnie Paulino tonight. Levon Hernandez has faced the Florida Marlins 30 times in his career in terms of starting. He has 22 decisions, 13 and 9. And his numbers for this season. And you might have noticed that sparkling ERA of 3.03 puts him in the top 10 in the National League.
PNC Bank Scouting Report. Keys to Levon's achieving success tonight. Old Faithful. We can send him out there every 5 days. We know about that, under control. Last 5 starts, 8 walks, 21 Ks, 27 hits, and that's 33 innings pitched. And bridge the gap. He goes 7, 8 innings. Usually gets the ball to either the setup man or the closer.
Nationals defensively, Josh Willingham out of the lineup at least for one more night. Debbie Taylor will have some news on Josh shortly. So it's Willie Harris, Bernardina, and Morse in the outfield. Ian Desmond, Adam Kennedy up the middle, Zimmerman Dunn the corners, and Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. Visit train.com to find a dealer. Hard to stop a train. And our train game time temperature, 78 degrees. And as you might suspect, quite humid with the rain in the area. There's another cell out to the west of us that we hope will miss the ballpark. 21-year veteran Mike Winters has the plate. Hunter Wendelstedt, Jerry Lane, the crew chief, and Alan Porter, the bases. Hanley Ramirez, 4 for 7 in the series. He's walked twice and scored 4 runs. First pitch is a strike at 9:02 Eastern Time. So a rain delay of 1 hour and 57 minutes. Ramirez hitting 285. It's a big slow breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
You'll see fastballs up around 86, 87, curveballs down in the 60s, sinkers, different speeds, even some sidearm curveballs occasionally, but you're going to see a lot of adding and subtracting of speed because he's not going to be able to blow fastballs by this lineup.
Levon's been involved in 2 lower scoring games against the Marlins this year. A 3-2 win on May 9th here, and a 2-0 loss July 17th there. Hanley Ramirez hitting that ball, we think about 440 out to left center field for his 16th home run last night. No balls and 2 strikes again. From the first base end of that pitching rubber, Hernandez throws one very close. Hanley Ramirez was fooled, couldn't pull the trigger. Evidently ball 1.
Well, and on the second pitch, he was late, and right here, the third pitch looks like a little swing back, two-seam sinker, a little low in the zone.
And Levon thought he had a strikeout.
1-2 pitch, a little slider. That looked better.
Close enough to be a strike. If you have to throw the ball down the middle of this ball club, look out. There goes a drink.
And a young man very happy.
On a line drive into the seats.
Well, Levon will still try to come inside, but guys like Scott Olson and Steven Strasburg, they're really going to have to start working to get hitters, especially good teams like the Marlins, off the plate. We don't do enough of knocking these guys off the plate, and they were just sitting there wailing and bailing last night.
There's that real slow curve. Popped up. Desmond calls off Willie Harris and takes it for the first out. Josh Willingham not in left field again. Debbie Taylor, what's going on with him?
Well, I talked to Josh, and he told me that he did have an MRI, and it showed something. He said that he's not going to play if it hurts, and he said that he doesn't want to hurt himself or the team, so it's really a minute-by-minute, day-by-day situation with Josh's left knee. Bob?
I saw a scroll across the scoreboard earlier tonight on an MLB telecast that said Willingham might have to have off-season surgery. That's the first I had heard of that. I don't know where they got that information, but evidently Josh might have a little more going on in that knee than we know about, although Jim Riggleman did say this afternoon that he expected the Hammer to be back in the lineup tomorrow. Here's Logan Morrison, 4 for 6 with 4 walks in the 2 ball games. So he's been all over the bases, hitting .283. When the Marlins came to town 2 days ago, he was hitting .234. Playing in only his 13th big league game, but he has a 3-game hitting streak going, 5 for 10. Great fastball. Swing back right under his hands. 1-2. The Marlins will have to win tonight to stay ahead of the Mets, who won today.
Well, Logan Morrison probably hasn't seen too many of these. 84-mile-an-hour 2-seam fastball that breaks at his hip right over the plate.
And that thing breaks like a breaking ball from a left-handed pitcher. Target in. Has to buzz him on the hands again. Behind Johan Santana today, the Mets beat the Rockies in New York 4-0. So right now, the Mets and the Marlins 9 games behind Atlanta. The Braves are idle on this Thursday.
A friend of mine that's a Mets fan just texted me Austin Kearns home run.
A Met fan?
Yankees fan.
Oh, okay.
Did I say Met fan? I meant Yankees.
I know they keep an eye on each other. Dodgers at Philadelphia. Dodgers got 3 in the first against Joe Blanton, and they lead the Phillies 4-2, batting in the top of the 7th. So that's it for the East tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Logan Morrison. I'll tell you, Levon, I know it's early. His first dozen or so pitches, pinpoint control so far.
Well, and when they're swinging late, you know that he's got a good off-speed pitch going already in the first inning. If you're late on 87, it looks like 93 with that 60-something-mile-an-hour curveball.
Hernandez 8-7 on the year, making his 24th start. He's pitched 151 2/3 innings. Easily on pace for over 200. And fortunately, that one right at Adam Kennedy for the second out as Logan Morrison continues to swing the bat very well in his first 2 weeks as a big leaguer.
Well, this one had a little bit too much of the hitting zone, even though it was a nice breaking ball off speed. Morrison kept the hands back and lined a shot right at Adam Kennedy.
Bases empty, 2 outs. Here's Gabby Sanchez. In this series, 1 for 9 with an RBI. Back foot right on the back line of the batter's box. Levon ahead with a fastball. Marlins as a team 11th in the league in hitting at .255. Right behind the Nationals at .256. But the Marlins make good use of their hits. They're 8th in the league in scoring. 7th in homers. The Nats are 14th in the league in scoring with a higher batting average and the same number of home runs. Dan Uggla, first inning damage here on Tuesday. There's that big, slow curveball.
Well, and our pitchers and our staff are getting a little taste of our offense's medicine where they take a lot of pitches. That was 19 already by Levon. So a lot of patience here by the Marlins in the first inning.
Yeah, even though this is only the third hitter. Tap ball, way foul.
Told you last night the at-bat of the night was the first one. Hanley Ramirez didn't make a hit or get a hit. He had 9 pitches thrown to him.
And then 23 pitches later, Scott Olson was finally out of the first inning against Edwin Rodriguez offense. He's 2 games above 500 as the Marlins manager. Hanley Ramirez has popped up here tonight. And Levon throws another strike, fouled off by Gabby Sanchez. And we remember Sanchez, he had the 12th pitch at bat in Florida against Steven Strasburg. Don't be afraid to put the ball in play, Gabby. Tough out, this guy.
Well, he's a good hitter, and he's patient, and he's just trying to put the ball in play the other way, especially with some of the breaking balls.
Dodgers just got a Matt Kemp homer and picked up 2 runs in the 7th at Philadelphia to lead 6-2.
Like sitting here, hitting over 300 at Nationals Park.
He got jammed but swung. That might have been ball 4. Willie Harris, and for the first time since Saturday, a starter keeps the other team scoreless in the first. It was Levon last time. .256. A lot of home runs lately. Ivan Rodriguez had 3 hits last night. That error call early in the game on Hanley Ramirez later changed to a hit, as we thought it should be. So he had 2 hits Tuesday, 5 last night. Willie Harris again in left field, replacing Josh Willingham. It'll be Bernardina, Desmond, and Dunn to lead off against Ricky Nolasco. 7-3 with a 4.5 ERA in 11 career starts against the Nats. And he's looking for his 13th win. Roger Bernardina in a bit of a skid. 1 for 8 in this series and 2 for his last 13. By the way, Ricky Nolasco is tied for 6th in the league in wins with those 12. Bernardina pulls off that one. And the count's even 1-1. League leader Ubaldo Jimenez with Adam Wainwright 17. Halladay 14. Hudson and Carpenter 13. Lados and Nolasco with Bronson Arroyo all have 12. And Roger with a .331 on base percentage needs to find some contact here.
Well, and he's like Levon, a very good strike thrower, doesn't walk too many guys, and he's definitely got a great off-speed pitch. You've seen him start him off with a couple in this first at bat.
Oh boy. 2-2. Bernardina reaches out to make contact to stay alive.
PNC Bank scouting report on Ricky. He is a strike thrower, almost 4-to-1 strikeouts to walks in his career. He'll make you swing and miss. 130 Ks, 28 walks, and 144 innings pitched. But this is not his year against the Nationals. He's 0-2 with an 8.6 ERA.
Bernardina out toward left center. On the move. It's off the glove of Logan Morrison. Roger races into second base with a leadoff double. We have seen more outfielders get their gloves on balls in this series without catching them. And Bernardina rewarded by hitting the ball the other way with authority.
As I was about to say, was 7-1 coming into this season against the Nationals. This year has an 8.6 ERA. This ball is laced by Morrison's glove as it's tailing away. He makes a valiant effort here. He's going to jump right at the last minute, try to catch that ball. He misses it. And it's a nice leadoff double for Roger Bernardina, but he looks to be in a little bit of pain out there.
Well, Rob, this is the time of the year when everybody has aches and pains in a ball club.
Well, and for Roger Bernardina, who didn't play much of last season because of a broken ankle, this is all uncharted territory for him. Playing a lot, stealing a lot of bases, having to hustle and try to stretch doubles into triples, doing things that last year he was rehabbing at this time.
Desmond looking to at least move that runner. He won't do it on that because it's in front of Bernardina. Has to hold. Hanley Ramirez throws him out. Fundamental things number 2 hitters have to do. The Marlins defense, Logan Morrison out there with Cody Ross and Mike Stanton. Hanley Ramirez, Dan Uggla, their everyday guys up the middle. Sanchez at first, Donnie Murphy at third base, and Brett Hayes gets the start behind the plate tonight.
And you were right on, Bob. That was not a productive at bat. And we talked about the Marlins. They worked Levon for 22 pitches. Swings early in the count, hits the ball to the shortstop, and doesn't move the runner.
I know Ian likes hitting second because he says he sees more fastballs with Dunn and Zimmerman, or Zimmerman and Dunn, however it's configured, coming up. But you still have to do basic things to give up possible hits to move runners. Now here's Adam, who's 2 for 9 in the series with a home run last night. Breaking ball coming in through that side door, and he couldn't get it 0-2.
And to give you an example of one of the best number 2 hitters in the last 20 years, Derek Jeter, who loves to inside-out pitches. Even if you're trying to jam him, he's looking to go to right field. And he's got the most hits ever in a Yankee uniform. But when it comes to getting a guy over from second to third with no outs, he's one of the best in the game.
And he'll have 3,000 before he's done. Adam Dunn last night, 5th inning, 2 outs, nobody on. Straight away.
Well, and it was a pretty good pitch. It was down and away, a good sinker. But you know what? He's a big, strong guy that got extension on the arms, and he's able to kill the ball to center field.
Hit that about 430.
Well, and like Mike Stanton of the Marlins, he swallows up the batter's box. He's got such long arms. He has great plate coverage where he can get to the outside portion.
You know, we probably never talk about this, but Adam's got such long legs as well. He's actually an inch taller than Stanton, and he gets that right leg outside the batter's box on the side of the box.
I mean, most guys are taking up maybe that much of the box. He's taking up 3/4 by the time he finishes striding.
1-2 the count with a 1 out. Dunn will pull it. Look out, guys. Right over, bouncing over the dugout.
you wonder why he puts the right foot on the right line, it's basically his trigger to make sure that when he faces the pitcher and starts swinging and moving those hips, that he brings that front shoulder in, much like a pitcher staying closed on his fastball. So he starts open like Don Mattingly used to do, and then as the pitcher goes through his windup, he'll tighten up and close that front shoulder in.
Breaking ball, 2-2. Roger Bernardine to double with nobody out. Stayed on the Desmond grounder to short.
I was going to say, very rarely does Adam change his mechanics, and it's just little things that Rick Eckstein will work on. It's just how he holds his hands a little bit higher or lower when he's really hitting well.
The San Diego Ball Club won again tonight, beating Pittsburgh 3-0. They have the most wins in the National League now, with 67.
Well, they picked up Miguel Tejada and Ryan Ludwig to help their offense, and
Ludwig
it's really
homered today, by the way.
It's really helped.
Adam Dunn. That was a ball in the dirt that he missed, and then it required a tag. 2 outs. Adam strikes out for the 141st time.
Well, the UPS store is going to show you the pitch sequence. It's a big over-the-hand curveball, another overhand curveball, fastball in. And then he throws another curveball, and another one down in the dirt, and then another one in the same spot down in the dirt. And that's what we talk about when we say the hitters want to hit. And you could back up the same pitch 3 times in a row, and guys eventually are going to want to swing at it.
2 outs for Zimmerman, who's driven in 64 runs.
His career record is 52-38. You have to believe in your stuff and just keep throwing it and making the guys look at it, and think, okay, I can hit that one. And that's exactly what he did to Adam. He kept teasing him with that big curveball. Made a mistake to Roger, though. He came back with a fastball, and that got laced out in the outfield.
Ricky Nolasco, 27 years of age, 6'2", 228. He's from Corona, California, and came with Sergio Mitre and Daniel Pinto in the Juan Pierre deal from Chicago, December of 05.
Former Cub.
And a breaking ball to Zimmerman. Ryan took it, 2-1.
Wouldn't they love to have him back now? Juan Pierre didn't stay that long, and Nolasco has turned into an outstanding major league pitcher.
Zimmerman with the ball in on his hands. Pops it up to Dan Uggla. Nats will get a leadoff double, and Bernardino will never go farther than second base. No score. those fireworks have been going off a lot lately because of all the home runs around here. It's not a school night yet, is it, guys? They got their gloves, waiting for a foul ball. Top of the second, Dan Uggla for the Marlins, and Levon Hernandez just misses with a fastball. Levon threw first pitch strikes to the first 3 Marlins hitters, but it took him 23 pitches to get that 1-2-3. Uggla in this series, 3 for 8 with a homer and the 4 early RBIs on Tuesday night. Swing back fastball stays away.
Not a bad idea to nibble with Uggla. You don't want to throw 87 to this guy. He's a dead red fastball hitter.
Well, he's proven he can hit the ball up and in, and I mean up. Levon just doesn't want to mess with him and throws him 4 nearly identical pitches. Diamondbacks coming to town tomorrow night. Joe Saunders pitched a complete game against the Nats in Phoenix last week. John Lannon opposes him. Saturday and Sunday, night game Saturday. DC 50 joins us for the Sunday day game. A day off for the Nats on Monday, and then on to Atlanta. Jason Marquis, Ian Kennedy Saturday. Steven Strasburg, Barry Enright Sunday.
You were telling me some tough news for the Braves fans about Chipper Jones today.
Wow. Yeah, tests revealed Chipper has a torn ACL. It'll require surgery on his knee, and he is done for the season. And then you speculated that the Braves might take a look at Alex Cora, who the Mets left get away, and they pretty much let him go just yesterday, and he can play superior defense anywhere on the infield. I'm sure Frank Wren's been busy today with Bobby Cox figuring out how to patch a big hole in their ball club at third base. Not to mention the number 3 or 4 spot in their lineup.
Well, they have a lot of ground ball type pitchers too, so they need very good fielders on the inner field, and especially at third base.
On the infield, a right side pop-up. Dunn is there. Adam has it right in front of him. Adam Kennedy for the first out, and here comes the unstoppable rookie Mike Stanton.
5 for 5 last night. I had our manager Jim Riggleman on my radio show this morning. He said those balls that were hit by Stanton were some of the hardest he's ever seen in baseball, and I would have to agree with him. The home run coming up right here, that ball, one of the farthest home runs that I've seen in the 1+ years that I've been working here. That is one big, strapping young 20-year-old having a lot of fun at our expense.
That thing hit the railing at the top of the left field seats. The ball deflects either off the base runner or Adam Dunn.
No, I think that got straight on Adam.
No damage in terms of advancement by Dan Uggla.
I don't even think he got a glove on this. No, he didn't. Oh, right off the ankle. That's got to hurt.
Well, if that ankle's not there, that ball's in the right field corner.
Yep, but that Texan didn't flinch.
And a ball hammered to right center by Stanton. Oh, my. Off the top of the wall. He's heading for third. He gets one of those last night, he would have had the cycle. And the Marlins lead 1-0 on a ball crushed to the top of the scoreboard, some 380 feet away. Very close to a home run, and Edwin Rodriguez wants the umpires to look at this. We saw some of the fans out there flinching as this laser came toward them.
Well, and you saw the nice swing. It was just a very level swing, and that may be a home run. Looked like it got off the top of the wall there.
The Nationals put that green strip on top of the scoreboard back in 08 after some early games resulted in confusion here. On the replay, it looked like that ball might have gotten over the green strip, disappearing right there. And if they take a look at that, they could call it a home run.
And I think Roger Bernardine is still hurting from that early double, and Lee Kuntz is going to run out to center field to check on him.
Roger didn't look real good going for that ball. So everybody but the home plate umpire goes in, including the crew chief, Jerry Lane. Umpire's room is only about 50 feet up that walkway. They'll go up there and make a left turn and go right into their own clubhouse right there. And look at this. But if they see that replay, Rob, they might call it a home run because it appeared the ball disappeared over the top of that green strip.
No, and you want fair to be fair, even if it's at our ballpark. That's a home run. It went over. It looked like it hit that piping and came back. That is one big, strong young man, and he fell over third base, which could have been disastrous, too, for him. He's 20 years old.
And, by the way, he's only 8 for 10 in this series now.
You worry about a young guy slipping and falling on this wet stuff. I think the bases might be a little slick at this point. Rogers going to stay in.
Well, the Nationals have 2 guys who can play the outfield, Justin Maxwell and Kevin Mensch. I'm sure Alberto Gonzalez could play out there if he had to. So the stopwatch is running with this play under review. Levon taking some casual tosses.
Bob, as he's slowing up right here, his third base coach is holding. Watch him slip on the bag. He slips over third base and nearly catches a spike.
Better off sliding. Well, we will be surprised if this is not called a home run. Sometimes the longer it goes, the more likelihood it's not, but here they come. Crew chief. Talking to Jim Riggleman now. Jerry Lane walking over to Jim Riggleman. They might be going over a ground rule here, and that is a home run. I think what he probably asked him now, Jim, and we talked about this before the game, the green strip is the top of the wall, right? And Riggleman probably said, yes, it is, knowing that would be called a home run, and the Marlins lead 2-0. So for Stanton, his 12th of the year, and his RBI total shoots up to 37. Well, where do you pitch him? Last night he pulled one about 450 down the left field line. Tonight he goes the other way. Here's Donnie Murphy.
As down and away as you can get.
And he's still reacting.
To try to get him to hit it out to our bullpen. I mean, he is so strong. But you know what? If you watch the replay on his swing, it was a nice swing. It was a line drive type swing. It was nice and even. And the ball just hit the bat. And with his power, he put it out of here.
And Levon only gives up a home run every 15 innings.
Watch his head. Watch the swing. Nice. Down. Head. He's going to come nice smooth through here. He's not trying to uppercut it. And then the ball just takes off out to right center field.
0-2. Half swing. Here comes Zimmerman. Scooping near the line. Fantastic looking play. That's the one that nobody makes better than Ryan Zimmerman. 2 outs.
Couldn't agree with you more. This is the most difficult play for a third baseman. He's running in. Fast runner. He's just got to flick it. And he flicks it perfectly to the chest of Adam Dunn. This is just being gifted. Great balance. Shoots it across the infield. Something he's probably practiced thousands and thousands of times.
Here's the catcher, Brett Hayes. Playing in only his 16th game. And Levon throws a strike to the right-hander, hitting .243. First appearance by Hayes in this series. He's from Pasadena, out of a wonderful baseball program out in California called Notre Dame High School. And that ball will be hooked right off the left field wall. He reaches out and just strokes one off the wall for his 3rd double of the year to go along with 1 home run. And the Marlins continue to pound the Nationals. They have now scored 19 runs in 20 innings of this series. Nationals have scored 7. And the hitter is Ricky Nolasco, 6 for 41 this year, 6 for 42 this year. Adam Kennedy throws him out. Nats give up 2 on the Uggla walk, the Stanton homer, 2-0 Florida. UNA. And Rob, tonight we talk about the number 2 spot on the Luna double, but hitting second is a lot more than just how many hits or batting average you have.
Yeah, you have a job to do when you're hitting in the 2-hole, almost like the leadoff hitter. He's got certain responsibilities, and Ian Desmond not moving a guy on second base with no outs is part of them. Whether you have to bunt him over, hit it to the right side, hit a fly ball to right field, job one is to get that guy in a scoring position on a fly ball with Dunn and Zimmerman coming up behind you. I mean, playing against Jay Bell, we'll say the shortstop from the Pittsburgh Pirates one year, he may have had 80 to 100 sacrifice bunts.
Oh, yeah, he led the league every year.
He knew his job once the leadoff guy got on was to move him to second or move him from second to third. And you've got to be selfless, and you got to be the type of person that just says, you know what, I'll give up average and everything to get that guy in a scoring position.
Yeah, and how valuable was he with Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, and Andy Van Slyke coming up to hit after him?
Well, he was huge. They had 3 division wins in a row with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah,
92, yep.
The Braves who kept them out of the World Series every year. Here's Michael Morris, and Mike's having a tough series. He's 0 for 8, 4 strikeouts. And when they get ahead, maybe they'll show him a fastball like that one, but they have been getting him out with hard breaking stuff down and away.
Well, high and tight, low and away. It's the easiest part of pitching mentally. It's the toughest thing to actually execute it out there on the field.
Look where the target is. And the breaking ball gets him looking.
But that's,
and evidently the scoreboard was wrong. It was 2-1 instead of 1-2.
It's a respect thing. They're respecting your power, and they're not going to give you too many nice fastballs to kill. They're going to make you earn it by hitting the ball the other way.
There it is. Hard stuff down and away. Morris is now 0 for his last 11. Second strikeout victim of Ricky Nolasco. We have a Sunday Family Fun Pack Day coming up with the Diamondbacks here. Get a seat for the game, a hot dog, chips, and a soda, starting at just $14. Visit nationals.com/kids to purchase your Family Fun Pack tickets. And Steven Strasburg will be pitching on Sunday against the D-backs, who might be on the ground here in Washington already. They lost 8-4 at Milwaukee today. And Arizona, with that loss, 46 wins and 70 losses. Well, the Nats are having a hard time getting number 50. They've been trying since last Saturday. 1 ball, 1 strike to Adam Kennedy. Adam 2 for 8 with a run in this series. And hitting .297 for the last 2 weeks since the departure of Christian Guzman. Florida, one of those ball clubs he's always done well against. Two and two. Only one other National League game in progress, and that would be Dodgers-Phillies. They're now in the top of the 8th at Citizens Bank Park, and LA still leads Philadelphia 6-2. Three and 2 to the Nationals, who are 11th in the league in walks. Target in. Kennedy flares one left field. It will hang up for Logan Morrison. 2 outs.
Now, explain what I was talking about with Michael Morse. They're not going to throw him anything in here. Everything's going to be away as far as strikes are, because anything in here is usually going to be hit hard by Michael. So what he's going to have to work on is trying to go to right field with this pitch. And so right there, you see that that ball is way out over here, and if he doesn't start hitting it that way, they're going to continue to throw it there. So this is a game of adjustments, and you have to start going to right field.
And getting 4 at-bats every day is a whole lot different than when you're getting 1 at-bat a day or a couple every other day, because, Rob, they really get a book on you quickly once you've got 15, 20 fairly continuous at-bats.
Well, and when you're hitting 7 home runs and 20 starts, you know, they're going to respect your power, because you can change the outcome of the game with 1 swing. So you're thinking, okay, I'm not going to get burned by this guy. I'm not going to throw him any meat pitch in the middle of the plate in where he can get extended and kill the ball. I'm going to make him go fishing outside and take it to right.
Pudge Rodriguez, 5 out of 8 in this series. But under that one is Stanton. And the Nats go quietly in the bottom of the 2nd. We're covering the bases with left-handed reliever Sean Burnett. A visit to his locker.
With Sean Burnett. Now, he grew up in Florida in the spring of 2000. He pitched a perfect game for Wellington High School against the number 2 team in the state, Atlantic High.
South Florida baseball is pretty serious, and you know, I was fortunate enough to be a high-profile prospect, I guess you could say, in high school. So there was quite a few teams there, quite a few general managers and stuff like that. And fortunately enough, to throw a perfect game. You know, everything went right that day, and it was my day to shine. So it's pretty neat. And you know, like I said, it was versus number 2 team in the state, so it made that much more special. And it was a pretty good atmosphere and a pretty good crowd. So for a high school game, it was a pretty special day.
At any level, pitching a perfect game is a challenge, and obviously a memory that he will always cherish, Bob.
And the year before that, Bobby Bradley from his same high school was drafted number 1 by the Pirates. So the Bucks had the worst record in the league 2 years in a row. They got Bobby Bradley and Sean Burnett. That had never happened before at a high school in the USA. 2 number 1 picks in a row. No balls and 2 strikes. 3rd inning underway as Levon works against Hanley Ramirez. Miami of Florida, by the way, the U down there wanted Sean Burnett to come and pitch for them, but he signed with the Pirates as the 19th overall pick in 2004. One ball and 2 strikes. And here's Hanley Ramirez taking one up and away.
And not every organization likes to draft kids out of high school. Some like to draft kids right out of college. They think they've gotten more experience and have developed further down the road, and they want to see them get to the big leagues a little quicker than maybe a kid right out of high school.
It's a big slow curveball.
But I think it just says a lot about the Pittsburgh Pirates and where they were going those years. They were going for the young high school type guys that they felt they had control of them for a while, and they could develop them into good big league players.
Dunedin, Florida, on the West Coast, the spring home of the Toronto Blue Jays. There's that 2000 draft pick with Nigel Morgan for Joel Hanrahan and Lastings Millage over a year ago. And a 2-2 pitch coming to Hanley Ramirez here in the 3rd. Sean is 27 years of age. That one just missing. And Levon, I don't know, getting some squeezage here by Mike Winters early in the game.
Yeah, but this is last year's batting average winner here, Kinetic. This ball is going to come back over the outside part of the plate.
Very close. Kinetic North America, providing world-class technology to our national and homeland security customers. And impatient Ramirez swings at a pitch outside and flies out to Michael Morris. And Levon, he plays on the hitter's impatience.
Yes.
By not giving in. The hitter pretty much knows they're not going to get a fastball down the middle. And then they have to decide, do I want to walk or do I want to swing the bat, Rob? And we know Hanley is one of those guys who wants to hack.
He wants to swing, just like our Adam Dunn. Adam Dunn likes to swing, and Velasco kept throwing and breaking balls down in the zone. He eventually swung and missed. And with Hanley, he's just a little bit more contact oriented that way. Didn't get a fastball, got a big breaking ball, swung at it, flew out the right.
I'll tell you what would be a war of wits. Levon pitching to Adam Dunn. I think Pudge is getting into it with Mike Winters about that call the Nets didn't get. And now Jim Riggleman intervenes and says, Pudge, you let me handle this. And we've got some balls and strikes being argued about here. And Jim still wants Pudge to get away. He doesn't want to lose his catcher in the 3rd inning.
You're talking about a guy that's a 20-year veteran, has caught the most games in Major League history, has 13 Gold Gloves, and I think he knows the strike zone pretty well. He's a lifetime .299 hitter.
And by the way, as the manager and the catcher pat each other on the back, Pudge Rodriguez and Mike Winters started the same year in the big leagues. So here's the pitch we think they're
arguing
discussing.
over.
And look at Pudge. He just sits there forever. And I bet you Mike Winters said,
didn't appreciate that.
Don't sit there any longer. You're showing me up.
Don't show me up. Don't embarrass me. I won't embarrass you. And
then one thing leads to another.
Then a few more comments are made. And
but a manager has to come out and protect his guy.
Absolutely. Be the peacemaker. If someone's going to get thrown out, it's going to be Jim Riggleman. He doesn't want his player thrown out.
Another line drive from Logan Morrison. His first one was caught by Kennedy. This one cleanly into right center. And that kid's 5 out of 8 in this series.
They got some young kids that can hit, including Chris Coughlin, who's not here. He was the Rookie of the Year. So Logan Morrison gets a nice pitch he can hit. Doesn't try to kill it. Just punches it through the infield.
And they're going to have to figure out what to do with him.
Coughlin comes back. If you hit like that, you'll stay up here and they'll find a spot for you.
Well, I was told by one of the Marlins guys that they'd consider him at third base, but then I looked and he's a left-handed fielder. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, he's not going to play third.
He's going to scoot to third base. Bernardina hits the cutoff man on a base hit by Gabby Sanchez. First and third, one out. And here come the Marlins again. They have been relentless in this series. Ugla coming up next. And the starters are having a nightmare against this Florida offense. And not just them. Problems with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks before that.
And the Diamondbacks are coming to town tomorrow.
Didn't they, what, they hit 4 homers in a row yesterday?
They hit 4 home runs against the Brewers' Dave Bush on 10 pitches.
Yikes.
Back to back to back to back.
Do you think anybody saw a fastball up and in?
No, they did not. So it's just a question of, do you want to throw batting practice or do you want to try to make your living up here?
Well, the Nats are in trouble again. 7 outs, and Levon's thrown 47 pitches. He walked Ugla on 4 pitches, first time up.
They're very comfortable up there.
Well, Rob,
you got to move their feet. You got to get them off the plate.
We've been sitting here watching this. We've been saying this for 4 years when the Nats face this club. They stand in there and take big swings and tee off, and nobody does anything about it.
And you eventually got to get sick of it. And I said this last year with some of our pitchers: is, do you ever, does your pride get hurt or bruised by what guys are doing to you out there, to where you're taking offense over it?
We know the ERA's not feeling very good. 9-2 now, Dodgers at Philadelphia. So some offense late night here in the National League East. 1-1 to Ugla. They'll pop it up right side. That's playable. Adam Dunn on to the track. One hands it. And the runners have to stay at first and third. 2 outs.
Show the pitch sequence. This is a very tough fastball hitter here. UPS Store will show it. He throws a fastball away, throws another 2-seam fastball away, and he throws a third 2-seam fastball up in the zone. Teased him enough outside to where he took a hack at it, and he fouls out on the first base side.
Now Levon has to get Cody Ross.
Well, and Cody Ross is almost on the inside line in the batter's box, so he's definitely saying, try to come inside on me.
Yeah. He's 2 for 11 in the series. And he goes right up the middle on a pitch out over the plate. And the Marlins have now scored 3 runs tonight. 20 runs in 21 innings of this series. I mean, he was daring Levon to throw the ball inside, and Levon put it right out over the plate. Watch this location.
All right, once again, he's saying, go ahead, throw something in here. And Levon's going to throw it out here, but he's got such control of this area of the plate, he's going to be able to reach this outside portion. So if you don't bust him off the plate, that's exactly what happened. He went right back up the middle with an outside pitch. You can't allow them to cover that much of the outside portion of the plate. Whether you're Levon or Strasburg, it doesn't matter. It's pretty simple stuff up there.
And Levon has to fool with Mike Stanton now. Not sure I'd even throw him a fastball anywhere near the plate. Maybe 4 breaking balls outside. If he swings, great. If he walks, take your chances with Donnie Murphy.
A Hall of Famer, Frank Robinson, told me, he said the reason he crowded the plate, was right up on the plate, was to imagine himself covering the outside portion of the plate on a Bob Gibson type slider. And that's the approach he had every time he went to the plate. Now, he got hit a ton. I think 198 times he was hit. But he's in the Hall of Fame also because he's tough. You know what? One of the greatest that ever played the game. So he was willing to take being hit to accomplish his goal of hitting the ball with authority. Well, Mike Winters has a tough zone tonight, and it's even made tougher by this Marlins hitting.
Well, like I said in the first inning, if that zone makes you throw the ball over the plate against these guys, you're in trouble. unless you have strikeout stuff. That ball right into the runner, and somehow Kennedy kept it out of center field.
Well, here you see Stanton, him covering the plate, and all of a sudden you see the break of Adam Kennedy running in there. And we've said this before. Either you step off or you make the play. And it's a great save of the ball going to center field.
All right, send him down to first base and try to get Donnie Murphy out. Bases loaded, 2 outs. At least for the moment, that's better than a 3-run homer. So let's see how it works out.
Well, and just trying to imagine, this guy's trying to cover the outside portion of the plate. It's in the middle of the plate. He hits the middle of those 6 inches on the bat. And that ball just goes out because of his strength. See it right there. The guy trying to make the play goes over the green.
I'm sure the umpire saw that ball disappear.
Yeah.
Home run. Well, this at bat could decide the rest of the evening right here. Marlins have led big in every game of this series. Not that 3-0 in the third isn't big, but last night at this time it was already 7-0. And Tuesday night at this time it was about to be 4-0. He pulled the string on him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A soft curveball. Murphy is 3 for 6 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Ball 2.
1-1 pitch. He's trying to throw a slider over the outside portion of the plate, maybe a cutter, and it just misses.
Now he's gone 3-1, and this is where Levon has a problem.
Yeah, this
not a fastball strikeout pitcher. Can he afford to continue to throw breaking balls with the bases loaded, down by 3 runs already?
He's going to have to throw something to contact right here. He's a pitch to contact guy. He gives up a ton of fly balls.
Swinging a foul tip, 3-2.
Well, he's looking 3-1 fastball with the bases loaded because he's not expecting the off-speed breaking ball, but that's confidence in your stuff, and that's also over 400 starts in the major leagues by Levon Hernandez. Not going to give in. 3-2 bases loaded. He will not give in. Call out Pudge Rodriguez to just go over the signs and say, listen, this is what we're going to throw. That way he doesn't even have to put down a sign or location for the guy at second base to maybe give location to the hitter.
A run home, 3-0 Florida. And the bases loaded here in the third with 2 outs.
Tough inning for Levon. 11 balls, 11 strikes this inning so far. It's up to 60 pitches for the game.
He'll throw a fastball and get it by the right-handed hitter. So not messing with Mike Stanton pays off. It's reasonable for now. 3-0 Florida after 2.5. is right about here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if the guy were standing here like this, you want him to be rocked back so he can't get outside. But if you don't pitch inside, he stands on the plate and just dives right down, and he gets your best stuff away from him while getting fully extended, and that gives these guys so much power. And like Mike Stanton, when you're about 6'5", 250, and you're 20 years old, and you connect with the ball, it's going to be a home run. So it's just whatever Levon's going to come up with the rest of his outing today, he's got to start getting inside on the Marlins.
Willie Harris 0 for 5 in this series, and 0 for his last 11. Leads off in the third.
And it's also, as I said to you off the air, it's a bad reputation for this staff to be known as someone that's a bunch of guys that won't pitch inside on you. Just the comfort level with some of these teams against us is too much. You got to stop it.
Well, I think the two most striking examples are these guys and the Phillies. We've talked about this numerous times when the Nationals face Philadelphia.
And if the guy's on the plate and he gets hit a few times, too bad. That's part of the game. You're not trying to hurt them. You're just trying to earn a living.
Ball gets away. Willie Harris strikes out. Here's Livan Hernandez, 5 hits on the year.
I mean, Craig Biggio, one of the smaller guys that ever played this game, leads the major leagues in being hit by pitches. Why? Because when I faced him, his hands were over the center of the plate.
Jeff Bagwell, too.
Yep, so that they could cover the outer portion of the plate and, you know, had no worries about getting hit. And then now they started putting the elbow pads in there and the shin pads on their wrists and things like that. It doesn't mean you ever stop pitching inside. The game in 130 years has the same parameters, what you have to do as a pitcher to keep your job.
Livan bounces one past the pitcher, but Ugla playing up the middle, 2 quick outs. Top of the order, Roger Bernardina has the Nats' only hit, doubled first time up. First 10,000 kids 12 and under Sunday against the D-backs will go back to school in style. A free kids back to school supply kit presented by our friends at Smithfield. Go to nationals.com/tickets. Purchase your tickets in advance. It's also a family fun pack day at the ballpark. Here's Bernardina, 2 for 9 in the series. And quickly Nolasco with a 3-run lead, 2 outs here in the third, and he has the leadoff man 0-2.
Well, Roger doing a good job of laying off those little teaser curveballs by Nolasco. He tries to get you to go fishing, pardon the pun because it's the Marlins, but he's trying to get you to go after that pitch down and away.
1-2 to Bernardina, who stays alive. Just looking up some numbers today, thinking about the Nats and their inability to have people on base for all these home runs. The Nats came into the ball game with 975 hits, 12th in the league, 348 walks, 11th in the league. That's foul, and it hits Hunter Wendelstedt. And that's one of the reasons umpires are in foul territory on those balls. It's kind of like base runners at third.
And he shares a laugh with Gabby Sanchez. Gabby asking respectfully, "Are you okay?" And I think he's more embarrassed than anything. And his father umpired while I was playing and has a umpiring school in Florida, one of the best.
Harry Wendelstedt.
Harry Wendelstedt was a fabulous umpire. So is his son. Like the name Hunter, too. Good for a boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that one right by Donnie Murphy. And Bernardina, 2 for 2. That'll bring up Desmond and all the Nats offense off the bat of this man.
Well, he saw enough curveballs by Nolasco in the first 2 at-bats, I'm sure, to last him the rest of the day. And so he said, okay, you want to throw a curveball that way? I'll hit it that way. And he hits it right by Donnie Murphy. So a couple of hits for Roger, and he's happy he stayed in the game.
Murphy got to the ball but didn't get down on the ball. But a good adjustment by Roger on an off-speed breaking pitch. Now here's Desmond, and his hitting approach not really the same as it was in the third inning here. This is the life of the number 2 man. In this case, 2 outs in the inning.
Well, now,
so you do want him hacking and trying to drive the ball.
You want him to drive it to a gap, hit a double down the line, hit it with authority to try to score Roger Bernardino from first base. You've got a guy with great speed, so now you become a power hitter instead of just a contact guy trying to move the runner along. A lot of changing responsibilities.
The number 1 guy, his job is always to get on base. Number 3 and 4 guys, 5 guys, their job is always to drive people in. But the job of the number 2 hitter probably changes as much during a game, more than anyone else. And of course, if you're batting 7th or 8th, your job is to survive.
Well, the 8th,
get it to the pitcher.
With 2 outs, the 8-hole guy has to try to get on any way he can to make sure that the pitcher doesn't lead off the next inning, excuse me. And so his job changes depending on what the how many outs there are. If there's no outs and he's leading off an inning, he's trying to get on a double so that the pitcher will sacrifice and move him into scoring position at third, so that a fly ball scores him with the leadoff guy.
And there are times like this when your leadoff guy would be running to get to second. If he gets thrown out, you have your number 2 guy leading off. Now, do you do that down by 3? We'll see what Jim Riggleman decides. A lot of it depends on the count, and it's not a hitter's count right now. Desmond will drive the ball deep left center, but it's hanging up to be caught by Logan Morrison. So the Nats have stranded 2 runners, Bernardino twice. How about some hot wings at 10:06?
Morrison not trying to do too much. Gabby Sanchez, Cody Ross. I'll take the outside portion of the plate if he'll give it to me and just get singles. And right now there's small ball and that one big long ball, the difference in the game.
The good news is the radar is clear now to the west of us. That cell that was sitting out near Manassas has moved pretty much to the south, down toward Fredericksburg, so it looks like at least the weather's in the clear for the next couple of hours. Can the Nats mount a comeback here, down by 3? Middle innings commencing with Brett Hayes, who hit that double off the left field wall. First time, the number 8 guy. Slow breaking ball, and he couldn't wait long enough. I mentioned first time up, Brett Hayes, who we hadn't seen in the series. He's from Notre Dame High School out there in Southern California. Went on to Nevada Reno. There's a number of major leaguers now. Brendan Ryan, the St. Louis shortstop, is one of those from that high school, producing some major league talent. 26-year-old catcher. And a fastball up and away.
Chris Dickerson that the Reds just traded
for Jim Edmonds.
There's some really good players that can come out of Southern California, just like your Cobb County, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Southern Florida.
And the Houston area. Many major leaguers like Adam Dunn.
The Southington, Connecticut area.
Yeah, they produce soccer players and baseball players up there.
Hey, 2 world champions out of the same high school.
You and Carl Pavano?
Yes, sir.
I was reading your yearbook the other day. I remember that. That's a second strikeout in the row for Livan Hernandez. Let's check in on some AT&T trivia. The smartphone says Livan struck out 15 his first postseason start, who holds the all-time record for most strikeouts in a postseason game. You know what? It could be him. But is it a trick question? Somebody get more than 15?
Don Larson threw a perfect game in the World Series.
I mean, it would have to be somebody who had a complete game. I think Bob Gibson might have struck out 17 Tigers in Game 1 of the '68 series. I would have to go with that one. If that number serves me right, having been at that game as a teenager.
I'm going to go with Bob Feller back in '48, last time the Indians won a championship. That's just a wild guess.
Okay. Fastball up to Ricky Nolasco, who bounced out to Kennedy first time up.
I was watching Yogi Berra in an interview, and he said his one single greatest moment of all the 10 championships and all the other stuff was Don Larson's perfect game in the World Series.
And a bouncer. Livan has it. Shirley Povich, who this media center is named after, covered that game, and there's a scorecard from that perfect game down in the press box on level 6. Well, we might have gotten it because the answer is coming quickly.
I think Bob Gibson's right.
Let's see. Ta-da. But I must add this for our director, Doug Yalacki. His Tigers did come back and win that series 4-3. Thanks to Mickey Lolich soft-tossing his way into immortality. Gibson was brilliant in that series, but Lolich beat him in Game 7. Hanley Ramirez, he's not going to wait till 2 strikes on Livan this time. With that hit, he's now 5 for 10 in the series. Kevin Brown, Roger Clemens, Livan, Mike Mussina, and the great Koufax back in '63. Quite a list.
I think it was great that you and Doug took some time off from college to go to Gibson's game.
Well, I was in college at 15 years of age. You're right. I was a genius. Don't know what happened since. Rob, I was 15 years old. Come on.
Doug Yalacki said he was 6.
Well, might have been. I've been lying about his age for years.
Oh, no. He said he was in 6th grade.
Oh. Logan Morrison has hit the ball hard twice. He's 1 for 2. And, you know, Bob Gibson was a 2-pitch pitcher. He's a guy after your own heart.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was fastball slider. He never threw a changeup until about his 16th year in the big leagues, about a year or 2 before he was done.
But he had fun challenging hitters. He loved doing what he did. And he was saying, here it is. I'm coming for you. See what you can do.
It was interesting. The name of Gibson was invoked on Nationals.com today because somebody made a post about how they don't like the way that opposing players fraternize with each other these days and talk at first base or third base like they're old friends. There are fans who that rubs the wrong way. And one fan did bring up the name of Gibson, who refused to even acknowledge the opposition. But, you know, Rob, we live in a different world now where guys look like they're long-lost brothers sometimes when they get together, a defender and a base guy, you know, a base runner at a certain base. And some fans don't like that. And I see their point.
Well, a quick story after this, you know, a bunch of my teammates and I had this discussion, and the guys in our bullpen, and they would come to us and say, hey, we need you to come inside on this guy. And before the game, they're talking to him out behind second base, and they're buddy-buddy. It's like, it's difficult to go to your teammates and say, hey, do this, when it's going to be against your friend. You know? And so you shouldn't make friends and fraternize when you're in that uniform. Do it after the game or before the game.
Runner going, pitch is a strike. Look at that throw. Boom, out at second base is Hanley Ramirez as Pudge Rodriguez guns out the first Marlin to attempt a steal in this series. They're gone in the fourth.
Covering the bases today with Sean Burnett. And as a youngster, he played on an AAU baseball team in Orlando, Florida that was coached by Chet Lemon, who played for the White Sox and also for the Tigers, and he learned a lot from him.
Played the big leagues a long time and taught us the game, taught us the proper way to play the game and learned, taught me, I lived with him in the off season since I came from West Palm. It was such a long drive. I would stay with him, in the summers for, 2 weeks at a time and stuff like that. So, sitting around the dinner table talking baseball, major league experience, you learn from that. It's something as a kid you learn and you always want to be as a major leaguer. And he kind of taught you the lifestyle and taught you things to, kind of keep your head about yourself, on and off the field.
Sean told me, too, that fellow Floridians Prince Fielder and Ricky Weeks also played on that AAU travel team, Bob.
Wow. Well, that rivals Zimmerman, Reynolds, and the Uptons in the Tidewater area, doesn't it? I remember Chet Lemon as being a real hard-nosed major league player.
3-time All-Star, was on the 84 World Championship Tigers team.
0-2 to Adam Dunn. They'll pop it up. Left field line, long run for everybody, and Adam Dunn, the kid from Houston, gets a Texas leaguer. He had stopped when the ball got by Morrison, but Adam gets himself a base hit.
Well, that's a different way to beat the shift, but it also shows the strength of Adam Dunn. He gets jammed big time on the hands here by this inside pitch by Ricky Nolasco. So the ball is just barely going out of the infield, but since you're all playing towards second base, Donnie Murphy can't get it, Logan Morrison can't get it, and Ricky Nolasco can't believe it.
Not a happy pitcher.
What are we going to do to get that guy out?
Yeah. There's one other aspect of that fraternization thing that we can talk about before we wrap up that conversation. Let's see what Zimmerman does. It involves batting practice and who the field belongs to during batting practice. Ramirez and Ugla, and an errant throw by Dan Ugla goes into the photographer's bay, and instead of a double play, it'll be one out, and Zimmerman will end up at second base on a fielder's choice and a throwing error by Dan Ugla.
Well, it's a hard hit ball to shortstop, Ramirez to Ugla, but the big Texan coming in, and it must have intimidated Ugla enough to where he spins too quickly and just fires this ball, knowing he has to get out of the way. And there's no chance for Gabby Sanchez as it goes into the photographer's bay, as Bob said.
Marlins' 88th error of the year, and the hitter will be Michael Morse. You know, but Rob, sometimes you'll see the home team taking batting practice, and the visiting team here, which is on the third base side, their guys will be all over left field playing catch and stretching and all that, while the home team is taking batting practice. And I've talked to some coaches over the last couple of years, you know, guys who've been around for a long time. They say that never would have happened 10 or 15, 20 years ago. And now you see teams kind of coming out on the field and taking over one side of the field while the other one's taking BP, and nobody seems to do anything about it.
Well, and I don't think that will ever change anymore because of interleague play, and guys are just too friendly with each other. And I'll tell you what, the conversation I had with Jim Riggleman went back to Ken Maka watching Dave Bush give up 4 home runs in 10 pitches, and he told me about playing with Ken Maka in the 70s when they were teammates. And he said the game has changed. If a guy went deep back in the 70s, the next guy that was coming up to bat knew he was either going to get put on his back or hit. And the game, it's just not that way anymore.
Michael Morris does go to right field and scorches it the other way foul.
And he finished by saying, and in the last 15, 20 years, whenever you do pitch inside, the hitter stands there and glares out at you. You know, you now have the home plate umpire can basically read your mind and say you intended to pitch inside and hit that guy, and give both benches a warning. So it's the game has changed because there's so much money involved in these young men that you just don't want anybody to get injured.
And Morris strikes out again. In this series, he's 0 for 10 with 6 strikeouts. 2 outs in the inning. It'll be up to Adam Kennedy to try to get the Nats on the board.
So far this inning, Ricky Nolasco, 9 strikes, 0 balls. H.H. Gregg showing another breaking ball down and away on Michael Morse. And as long as you keep trying to pull that ball, he's going to keep throwing it there until you make an adjustment.
Here's Kennedy, who flied to left first time up. Well, the Phillies are making the Dodgers a little nervous. They just scored 4 in the 8th, but still trail 9-6. The 9th inning coming up at Citizens Bank Park. Kennedy in the series, 2 for 9. Hits have been hard to come by. Although the Nats had 12 last night, 5 the night before, 17 hits in 2 games, and they lost the 2 games by a combined 10 runs.
UPS store right here, not getting that outside pitch either. So both ways by Mike Winters.
UPS store does a lot more than shipping. It offers moving boxes, supplies, and packages. The Nationals pitch track. Zimmerman still at second base. Nats have had 2 runners get that far tonight. And Kennedy evidently strikes out and will be tagged out. Inning over. 5 Ks for the Nats offense tonight. 3-0 Marlins into the 5th. something has to happen. It was looking too easy. Who's that cat? Look at the head bounce off the seat. And then Teddy thought he had won. He was high kicking, and George stepped right by him. Tell you, you just can't beat that kind of drama. You talk about the thrill of victory. And the agony of being Teddy. Fifth inning underway, fastball to Logan Morrison, who was at the plate when Hanley Ramirez was gunned out by Pudge Rodriguez trying to steal. 3-0 Marlins out hitting the Nats 6-3 and trying to sweep this series and go one game over 500. We have been crowing lately about what a different team the Nationals are at home than they are on the road. Well, they ran into a buzzsaw in this series. In fact, this is only the fourth time in the last 15 home series the Nationals have lost a series here. That's a good pitch. 2-2.
Levon's definitely found his rhythm, and getting a few more calls on the edges is helping too. This is a very nice two-seam fastball. He runs it at Morrison. Took something off of it. Usually throws that was about 86. That was about 82.
And Pudge is not going to frame that one too long. He's been down that road with Mike Winters already.
Well, and something we talk about with the hitters, even pitchers have to make adjustments in the middle of a game, and that's what Levon's had to do. Trying to throw more breaking balls than two-seamers tonight.
Took a fastball. Evidently the rookie hitter was guessing, and Levon buzzed him before he could react for his third strikeout.
Well, he keeps him on his heels of his feet right here with a two-seam fastball, locks him up. You saw his butt go to first base. Watch right at the end, and the butt goes out, and he goes back to the dugout. Mike Winter says, "You're out of there."
Here's Gabby Sanchez, 1 for 2 with a base hit last time. His base hit set up the Cody Ross single with 2 outs that drove in Logan Morrison. I don't think he would have minded had that pitch hit him. Soft breaking ball, 2-0. Levon threw 3 consecutive first pitch strikes to start the game, and about half of them since for 64%. And he walked Sanchez on 4 pitches to face Dan Uggla, who he walked on 4 back in the second inning. Levon's third walk of the night, most homers by middle infielders, thanks to Hanley Ramirez and Dan Uggla, I should say so. 26 for Uggla, 16 for Ramirez. Blue Jays, Yankees, Brewers, and Red Sox. American League teams with DHs and big boppers on that list. Brought to you by Hollywood Casino. Get ready for one blockbuster hit after another. Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races, West Virginia. And we welcome those of you on Masson HD who watch Baltimore's 4-1 loss at Cleveland tonight. We're here at Nationals Park after a nearly 2-hour rain delay. It's the top of the 5th inning. Marlins 3, Nationals nothing. The big blow, a 2-run second inning homer by the rookie Mike Stanton against Livan Hernandez. Breaking ball misses 2-0.
And in that Orioles game, Kevin Millwood went to 2-12, taking the loss.
Baltimore's 4-game winning streak broken.
Brad Bergeson pitched a heck of a game last night. Complete game. Hey, 8-2 under Buck Showalter's pretty good.
Sharply hit to short. Desmond to Kennedy. And a 6-4-3 puts an end to the top of the 5th inning. Nationals turn it in good rhythm fashion here. On to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the order coming up in a 3-0 game. Unbelievable young players, National League East.
Well, and they have the Rookie of the Year in Chris Coughlin that is injured right now, but he came into the league last year. But Mike Stanton, their right fielder, 6'5", 250 pounds out of California, 20-year-old rookie is just making a lot of noise in this series, hitting his 2nd home run in as many days. An opposite field shot off of Livan Hernandez, and it had to be checked. The replay by the umpires, and so Mike Stanton 5 for 5 yesterday, and an early home run in this one. Was told that's a home run, you can run it now.
Yeah, we think they got the call right. Ball disappeared behind the green strip at the top of the scoreboard. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Nats have to start getting something from the bottom of the order. Without Pudge Rodriguez in this series, the Nationals would have 1 hit from their 7- and 8-hole hitters. But 0 for 1 tonight, 5 for 9 in the series. The only other hit at that part of the lineup was a bloop single down the left field line by Adam Kennedy, batting 8th on Tuesday night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pudge, by the way, 10 hits away from 2,800. Jonathan Broxton's on for the Dodgers. Bottom 9 at Philadelphia, leading 9-6. There's a runner at first, nobody out. And Pudge offered, pulled the bat back, and no swing, says Hunter Wendelstedt.
Well, and for the people just joining us, our hitters have seen a steady diet of these all night. Good sliders, good curveballs, everything off speed and away. Tease you with the fastball up and in, inside, but then go away with breaking balls.
Right in on the hands with a fastball. By the way, Mike Sweeney is batting for the Phillies, who they just picked up. Trying to hold things together until Ryan Howard comes back. Chase Utley is taking grounders, and Howard's been working out after turning his ankle against Jim Riggleman's Nats here about a week and a half ago. 2-2 to Pudge. Fighting off some tough pitches.
What is puzzling is he pitches in Florida in a pitcher's park, 20-20 career at home in South Florida, and on the road 32-18 coming into tonight.
He must let too many right-handed batters pull that ball in that cozy left field down there. I know Zimmerman got him twice back in April. Well, he was 11-11 in 06. Only made 4 starts in 07 when he was hurt. But then he went 15-8, 13-9 last year, and he's 12-8 here.
52-38 career coming into tonight.
Making his 113th start. Pudge with a little roller out to short. And he is safe at first. The ball stays in play. A bad break for the Nats. It came close to bouncing into the seats. And we'll see if they give Pudge Rodriguez his 6th base hit of this series.
This is going to be a tough play either way by the shortstop. Hanley Ramirez has to come sprinting in right here. He's going to have to barehand it, make a quick throw because Pudge still has speed at 38. And it just short hops Gabby Sanchez at first base. But look at this quick throw. He knows it's a fast runner going down there, and they got to give him a hit on that one.
They did. Pudge having a good series, 6 for 10.
There you see the beautiful play by Hanley Ramirez, barehanding it. Has to throw off balance because he knows Pudge has some good speed. And there you see the hustle by Pudge Rodriguez.
Jim Riggleman, by the way, came out to talk with the umpires to see if that ball might have hit somewhere by the camera bay over there out of play, which would give the hitter second base. But the umpires ruled it did not go out of play and hit a rail and came back in.
Willie Harris can't be too over anxious right here because he's probably going to get a lot of off-speed breaking balls by Nolasco.
You won't see much with Levon next.
Good running fastball way away. Well, here's the ball. It's going to get by from behind Hanley Ramirez. Let's see where it goes. I think it hit Dan Radisson. Well, it stays in
play. Hit that wall back there right by the tarp. Foot higher, it's into the seats. 2-0.
Trying to get Willie Harris to hit to the left side or go in the air to left field, and Willie's not biting.
Willie Harris in this series 0 for 6 and 0 for August. He's 0 for 12 this month. Good hitters count. And he was on that fastball on 2-0.
Left-handers for the season hitting 278 with 8 home runs off of Nolasco. Right-handers hitting lower, 260, but with twice as many home runs at 15. I think you might be right about that inside right-handed swing down in Florida.
3-1. Marlins pitchers in this series have only issued 4 walks so far. They've done a good job of not giving the Nats anything. They've been pitching ahead, being aggressive, throwing strikes. Bottom of the 5th inning, Washington down 3-0. Out hit 6-4. Number 8 man, Levon Hernandez on deck. The phone did just ring in the bullpen. And really on a check swing, foul tips it. Craig Stammen has just bounced up. And if the Nats need a pinch hitter next, we could see Stammen relieve Levon Hernandez after 5 innings. So it kind of looks like the skipper's not going to be real patient, waiting around for offense tonight. Time given. Josh Willingham had a pinch hit double last night, but the Nats had to use another player to pinch run for him. Do you want to use two guys this early in a game? Willie Harris takes the walk, and it looks like Levon will remain in the game, obviously to bunt, as the Nationals have 2 on, nobody out. That may sit Stammen down now.
Well, and I don't think we have an everyday player that can even bunt as well as Levon Hernandez.
Well, you probably wouldn't pitch hit to have anybody bunt here. I think maybe, Rob, if Willie had made an out, he might have gone to his bench.
To get someone to try to drive one out of here.
Yeah, looking for a hit. But now, with a sacrifice and some execution from the top of the order, you could pick up a run, maybe 2 here. So Stammen has vacated the bullpen mound.
I think Jim Riggleman figures that the way Nolasco's been throwing so far, we're not getting too many good swings on him. Doesn't look like we're going to have that many opportunities to score a bunch of runs on him. So this is maybe the inning we get to him.
Levon has 9 sacrifice bunts this year and 108 in his career. They're pinching at the corners already. In fact, it's interesting. Donnie Murphy is facing sideways with his feet at third. He wants to keep an eye on Pudge Rodriguez, and then he can always make his move to the plate, as opposed to the first baseman who's creeping straight in, and Levon bites on a breaking ball and misses it.
That's not the kind of pitch you want to go for. You want to go for something straight, something you can manipulate either to first base or third base, and he's going to take a stab at this breaking ball, which is not what you want to do, because you could foul it up in the air and that would be disastrous.
Strike 2. And man, when it's 0-2, it's really hard to bunt. If the pitcher does what he's supposed to.
He gets a high straight one right there, trying to go to third base. Doesn't miss too many, but that one he missed and went into foul territory.
And if you have him swing away, you risk the double play here that just about kills the inning.
Well, and you want to get that bat in front of home plate, so when you do bunt it, it's in fair territory.
The Nats fail again to move a runner. That's happened way too many times this year. 1 out here in the 5th. Top of the order, Bernardino.
Well, 2 of the 4 hits coming off the bat of this young man. Way behind in the count in his first at bat. He hits a double over Morrison's head. Then nice waiting on the breaking ball. Hands back, takes it the other way. Seems like he gets better and learns a little bit more every day. Chokes up on the bat. Tries to get as much of the good part of the bat into the hitting surface.
Bernardino has doubled and singled twice, going the other way to left center.
It's a nice stat. We've hit 9 home runs against the Marlins. That's tied for 3rd most of any team. Padres have 11. Diamondbacks have 10. We have 9.
Nats have hit 108 home runs this year. 2/3 of them with nobody on base. Bernardino takes a strike, a fastball outside corner. Take a look back at Mike Winters. 2-1. John Lennon tomorrow night. Joe Saunders for the Diamondbacks. Nats Extra 6:30 with Johnny and Ray. First of 3 with Arizona. And their 3-game winning streak was broken today. 8-4 loss at Milwaukee. Bernardina chops one foul and the count's even 2-2.
By the way, I misspoke on that stat. It's teams we've hit the most home runs against. We've hit the most home runs this year against the Padres, 11. D-backs 10. Florida and Atlanta in our own division, 9-9.
That's amazing. Against San Diego, they've only played them 6 times.
Well, Adam Dunn's got a ton of home runs against National League West teams this year.
That may, the Arizona number may be the biggest one by the time Sunday rolls around. Bernardina hits one to right field. And it'll back up Stanton, who makes the catch. Over to third, Rodriguez. First and third, 2 outs. Oh my, did the Phillies come back and win that game tonight? They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth to beat the Dodgers 10-9. Jonathan Broxton blows the save, so they gain a half game on Atlanta. The Phillies gave up 3 runs in the first inning and won that game. Going into the bottom of the 8th, they were down 9-2 and won the game. And they didn't hit a home run tonight. Last 3 outs, tough to get in that ballpark. Crushing defeat for the Dodgers, who now are 9 back of San Diego after they shut out the Pirates. Here's Ian Desmond, 0 for 2, ground ball to short and a fly ball to left. Still haven't seen any right-handed batters taking Ricky Nolasco the other way. Budge is at third. Willie Harris still at first. By the way, if Levon gets that bunt down, that fly ball's a run. Oh, and that hits Desmond. And the bases are loaded for Adam Dunn. Fastball up and in. Ricky Nolasco's first technical mistake of the game. And that raises an interesting possibility here in the 5th inning.
Well, there's nobody warming up in their bullpen, so Nolasco, who's going to pitch him with a lot of breaking stuff and very carefully.
He's at 85 pitches with 2 outs in the 5th. The shift is on. Hanley Ramirez goes up the middle. When there's nobody on base, they'll leave Ramirez at short and move the third baseman over to where he is. So the tying runs at first base with 2 down here in the 5th. He goes first pitch breaking ball and looks at his hands after the pitch as if to say, where was my release point on that one?
Yeah, the ball looked like it slipped out of his hands. He's walked the guy, the first walk of the game for him this inning, and hit a batter this inning. So his command has just deserted him the 3rd time through our batting order.
Dunn 1 for 2 with a bloop single.
Got to make it hurt.
Ball 2. Now this year, Adam has been more aggressive, not taking as many walks, on base percentage down from its usual 380. And that's been okay because of the damage he's done. Let's see if he sits on one here. He was hacking on 2-0.
Rodriguez getting a huge lead by the time Nolasco lets the ball go.
All the runners have infielders playing way behind them. Pudge down the line. 2-1 to Dunn. Fastball, a beauty. 95 under his hands on the corner.
He has saved some of his best pitches for this at bat. 2 pitches in the mid-90s, 1 missed. This didn't. Kinetic on the pitch track, shows it come back over the plate.
Dunn strikes out. For the 142nd time this year, the Nats have stranded 6. Can't buy a big hit. 3-0 Florida. Pitcher Livan Hernandez, 33 starts the following year, 17 that year as a rookie. He would establish himself, Rob, with one of the best postseason performances ever.
Yeah, and at 22 years old, he was the NLCS MVP, the World Series MVP. You talk about showing up and making an impact immediately.
ERA in the division series, 2.25. LCS 2-0, 0.84. World Series 2-0. Pitching nearly 14 innings in 2 starts. And a fine career to follow. Livan making his 436th start tonight. Ross, Stanton, and Murphy for the hard-hitting Marlins, top of the 6th. Ball hacked away, foul. Well, damaged by the number 6 guy, Stanton, the 2-run homer after the Ugla walk in the 2nd. And the RBI hit by Cody Ross 1 inning later. Livan has kept them at bay since. The Marlins have only 1 single by Ramirez since the 3rd inning. Livan stabs that one and takes a hit away from Cody Ross. Stanton coming up here in the 6th. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Miller Lite Party Night at the ballpark. At Nationals Park, a scoreboard pavilion seat and a drink voucher, just $20 tomorrow and Saturday, $22 for prime games. Come early, pregame happy hour, Miller Lite Scoreboard Walk Bar featuring $5 beers.
If Livan can get 2 more outs, Bob, this will be the 20th time in 24 starts he goes 6 innings or more.
He's gone 7 innings 11 times, and as Rob says, 6-19 so far. And Livan, if he goes 6 tonight, would get his innings up to 157. There's that big slow breaking ball that has Stanton looking at the third base dugout by the time the ball gets there.
Well, great change of speeds right there. After about an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, he gets the 66 curveball.
Throw a slower one. Then he tries to go heater and misses on the outside corner.
Backdoor 2-seam fastball.
way up and away, 2-0.
You know, looking back at that NLCS in '97 against the Braves, 10 2/3, 5 hits, 2 walks, 16 strikeouts. So you talk about dominating. Get your team into the World Series.
Hacked high in the air, left field side. Ryan Zimmerman is there. 2 outs. That'll bring up Donnie Murphy for the Marlins. Tonight's copyrighted telecast, presented by authority of the Washington Nationals, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Murphy 0 for 2, ground ball to Zimmerman, and a swinging strikeout. Levon unofficially about to throw his 100th pitch. He's not due to bat for 6 more hitters. But Jim Riddleman likes the way he's going. He could pitch 7 tonight. Zimmerman, Morrison, Kennedy due up in the 6th. 4, 5, and 6.
He's gone as many as 123 pitches in a start this year.
In on the hands and a high fly ball, left field line. Willie in the corner, feeling for the wall. He never felt it, and he made the catch. Levon's making a nice comeback. Maybe Zimmerman can start one for the offense. Ryan's 0 for 2 tonight, but 4. And a half. Here's our summary. And again, the big blow of the game. 2nd inning homer after a walk by the rookie Mike Stanton, who's 8 for 10 in this series. Ricky Nolasco pitching well enough to keep the Nats off the board so far.
Well, he was 7-1 before. He was 0-2 against us this year, and he's got the breaking ball working early and often in the count, getting a lot of swings and misses. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit batter. And bases loaded, 2 outs, a huge strikeout last inning to end the inning on Adam Dunn.
He now has 109. Let's see, he's walked 1. So he has right now about 108 more strikeouts than walks this year. Amazing control numbers. 7 Ks in this game. Zimmerman trying to pull that outside breaking ball. Literally losing his bat during the swing and breaking the bat. And a very quiet box score. Roger Bernardina 2 hits. Adam Dunn 1 bloop hit. Bud Rodriguez an infield hit. And Zimmerman gone. Ricky Nolasco is what veteran pitchers would call carving up the Nationals with his breaking stuff tonight.
Well, he's had a great breaking ball. He's been able to start it at the center of the plate and get it to run just enough over the outside to get a lot of swings and misses by our right-handed hitters tonight. Michael Morse with a couple of strikeouts. Adam Dunn has a lefty, 2 strikeouts. He's just got a great slider and a curveball working at the same time tonight.
Morris has struck out 6 times in 3 games, 0 for 10 in this series. And he pulls it fair near the bag, Donnie Murphy. Get your gear from the official source, thenationals.com shop. You can browse the largest selection of official gear, including apparel, memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Start at nationals.com. Accept no substitutes. Adam Kennedy's 0 for 2.
I thought you might appreciate Cliff Lee's numbers. 160 innings pitched, 137 strikeouts, 9 walks.
9
this season.
Wow.
9 walks.
And that's in the American League with the DH.
And last night coming out in the 7th inning was the first time in 11 starts that he didn't go 8+ innings. He will be by far the best free agent pitcher this offseason.
Cha-ching. How much do you think it'll take to sign him for 4 years, 5 years? We talking $100 million here?
Well, I mean, CC Sabathia went for 160. So he's got to be up there. Maybe not 160 worth, but what I'm saying is well worth it. 31 years old. A lot of teams will be fighting for him.
Doesn't he deserve to stay in one place for a while now?
He thought so.
Moving around he's done?
He was hurt personally when he was traded by Philly. He thought he was staying in Philly. He could not believe that he got traded.
Kennedy has a breaking ball right to Gabby Sanchez. The offense as quiet as the ballpark right now. Well, maybe they're staying up late over there with some baseball to watch. 3 more innings to play here. the river, John Lannon. Lannon 3-5. He won his last start Friday at the Dodgers. That's the last time the Nationals have won a ball game. 2-1 career with a good ERA against the D-backs of 0.47. But Saunders went the distance, beating the Nationals last week in Phoenix. Brett Hayes, Ricky Nolasco, and Hanley Ramirez, top of the 7th against Livan Hernandez.
Maybe time to break out the blue uni-tops tomorrow night.
Same bats, though, right?
Same bats.
Livan's last inning will be the 7th. He's due to bat third in the bottom of this inning.
I would say everybody eat at a different time in the afternoon, take a different route to the field, maybe change whatever car you might want to drive, maybe take a taxi, do something different tomorrow.
I was going to say, you got to buy a car to break a losing streak?
No, but some of these guys have more than one
Carpool
vehicle.
with somebody?
Yes.
Just something different. Okay. 3-1 to the number 8 hitter, Brett Hayes. 1 for 2 with a double.
Kyle just informed me we're 1-2 when we wear the blues, but we're 11-8 when we wear the whites. So whites it is.
Covering the bases with Sean Burnett tonight. He's throwing alongside Craig Stammen. This one in the air out to left center. Roger Bernardina under it.
Got a guy there. Been there 100 years.
Well, we've been talking about Sean Burnett tonight, the young man out of Dunedin, Florida. Yes, he bats left and throws left. Had the old Indians uniform on there. Evidently right-handed golfer, maybe? That may be the foul.
I think that's the foul.
Yeah, he's got the left hand on top.
Yeah, he had the right hand on the bottom.
And a very good golfer is Sean. Regularly gets out with Tyler Clippard and Livan Hernandez. Yeah, if you live in Florida, Dunedin, I mean, it's right off the beach there. Home of the Blue Jays during the spring. And Livan misses with a breaking ball, 2-0 to the pitcher, Ricky Nolasco. Two and one. Yankees won again, just closing out a win, 4-3 at Kansas City. So they stay on top of the American League East. Tampa Bay did not play tonight. Yankees have a 2-game lead over the Rays. Red Sox lost their 6-pack. But the shocker of the night, the Phillies down 9-2 and come back to beat the Dodgers 10-9. And Livan just walked the pitcher. His 4th walk of the night. Hanley Ramirez, the hitter. Steve McCaddy looks displeased with that. Marlins, 3rd time through the order, only had 1 hit. That was Hanley Ramirez up the middle back in the 4th. And then with 2 outs, Pudge Rodriguez threw him out at second base. Well, a nearly 2-hour rain delay and a 3-0 Marlins lead, making things very quiet around here. Crowd announced at 16,496. And the ball game was scheduled to start more than 4 hours ago. Hanley takes one on the inner half. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pitch number 115. That's the most that Levon has thrown in a game since May 4th, and that was the 123.
And a bounce it is short. Desmond charges, misses the connection. He was charging to try to generate a double play. Had he laid back, they probably would have gotten the lead run at second base. And we'll see how they score that one. 2 on, 1 out. Got himself sort of in between here. And it could go as his 28th error of the year since the Nats retired nobody on that bouncing ball. And Hanley Ramirez will get a base hit. Levon Hernandez is gone after 6 1/3. Fell behind early. The offense not able to help him at all. He did battle his way into the 7th inning, having not given up a run since the 3rd. AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros.
Well, when Sean was in high school, he used to watch another lefty. He would videotape as many of Tommy Glavine's games as he could.
You know, I watched him, not being such a hard thrower and being left-handed, kind of good guy to follow, throwing strikes, pounding the zone, and kind of learn to trust your stuff. He pitched in the big leagues a long time and wasn't one of the harder throwers and had a very successful career and maybe even a Hall of Fame career.
Talk about learning from the best. And by the way, like Glavine, as you mentioned, he loves to golf. He told me today he's got about an 8 or a 9 handicap, Bob.
That's pretty salty. Pitchers tend to be the best golfers because they are so good at repeating the delivery, the muscle memory, and the discipline it takes. There are, however, exceptions, I've heard.
Tommy Glavine was also drafted by an NHL hockey team. I think the Kings in the 4th round, but I might be mistaken.
It's quickly 0-2. Burnett to Logan Morrison.
By the way, my wife gave me that stat on Cliff Lee today, so she just texted to make sure I gave her credit. Now, Tom Glavine was an exceptional athlete, too. Very good hitter.
Well, he and Smoltz and Maddox used to really compete with each other and push each other.
They always had a running bet. Much about the money, it was more about who could be the best hitter here. But think it was 18 gold gloves by Maddox. I don't think too many people are ever going to approach that number.
Yeah, Jim Cott was in that neighborhood. What, maybe 15 for Jim?
15 or 16, something in there.
Two on, one out. Marlins looking to really increase their lead here in the 7th inning. Morrison a key hitter with Gabby Sanchez, and Uggla the next two after him. Versatile guy going equestrian on us. Sean Burnett.
Whoa! Open wheel racer. Formula One.
There he goes. It's a pretty good backswing. He's almost parallel there.
By the way, Tommy Glavine was a 4th-round pick in 1984, 69th overall by the LA Kings. Finished his career 305 wins versus 203 losses. I would say that puts him in the Hall of Fame. Won a Cy Young Award back in '98.
Nets have a baseball hockey guy on their team, Niger Morgan. 2-2, and ooh, that hurts. Niger left home at 16 to play junior hockey in Canada. Made it as far as the major junior level with the Regina Pats. And there's Sean starting to look mature. He's got the donut on the bat.
USA team.
Nice. Sean Richard Burnett. Pittsburgh's minor league pitcher of the year in '02. And then he would repeat that. Actually, '02 right after he had done it the year before. Played in the Futures game back at Miller Park in '02. And a 2-2 pitch. A play left side from Logan Morrison, who's been a tough out in this series. The rookie in this 3-game set, 5 out of 9, 4 walks. He's been setting the table pretty well for Gabby Sanchez and Dan Uggla. Minnesota's about to retake first place in the AL Central, leading at Chicago 6-1 bottom 9 when the last out's made there. This will be the only remaining big league game in progress tonight.
I'm just amazed he threw that perfect game in Dunedin, because that was maybe the toughest spring training park to pitch in.
And Burnett misses, low and in with a fastball, 3-2.
Many a young prospect's career stalled by pitching against the Blue Jays in spring training in that park. Yeah, that was no fun to go down to Dunedin.
Right down the middle at the knees. Logan Morrison takes it. 2 outs. Jim Riggleman is going situational here. He'll bring in a right-hander against Gabby Sanchez.
Well, Logan's not going to like the pitch because it's strike 3, but we do because it's perfectly placed at the knees down the center of the plate.
Alberto Gonzalez is on the diamond. Looks like Adam Kennedy might go over and get a first baseman's mitt and replace Adam Dunn. We'll see how the Nats play it. Burnett, good job. Here comes Stammen. 3-0 Marlins, top of the 7th. Nationals still need Adam Dunn's bat in the lineup, so he remains at first. Alberto Gonzalez out there at second base on a double switch. He'll be batting 9th. So Craig Stammen, his second appearance from the bullpen. He gave up a run on 4 hits in 2 innings on Tuesday night, but he struck out 4. Threw a double play ball. He faces Gabby Sanchez. Stammen did face Sanchez in that ball game and struck him out looking. Good fastball in there.
Great late break on that sinker. His velocity is up near the mid-90s where we thought it would get to because we know it's in there. He saves a little bit extra when he's a starter, but right here he needs a huge out to end this inning and keep us close.
Got a good breaking ball for situations like this. There it is. He buries it, and Sanchez is overmatched. Craig Stammen does a good job after Sean Burnett did the same. Time to stretch at the ballpark. Late at night, 3-0 Marlins. Going to help your young ones go back to school in style. Sunday, first 10,000 kids 12 and under receive from our friends at Smithfield a free kids back to school supply kit. Visit nationals.com/tickets to purchase your tickets in advance. And don't forget, bring the family out to the ballpark on Sunday. It's another family fun pack day. And Steven Strasburg will be pitching for the Nationals. After a leadoff walk to Dan Uggla, 1 out later, Mike Stanton, the blow of this game right over the scoreboard.
2-run home run back in the second inning by the 20-year-old Michael Stanton, and you see it just clear the fence. They said it was a triple first, went in, looked at the replay, said it was a home run. Jerry Lane gives the sign, and number 12 for the 20-year-old.
And you saw the reason the Nats put that green strip at the top of the scoreboard 2 years ago, because it was painted silver at that time, and it blended in with the rail behind it. So it's much easier to see those calls now, and it came into play on that play that was under review. There it is. That used to be painted silver. Much easier to see now. What a blast. That was about 385 where it went up over that 15-foot scoreboard. Here's Pudge Rodriguez, 1 for 2 tonight, and Pudge 6 for 10 in the series. Harris and Gonzalez to follow in the bottom of the 7th. And Pudge has another base hit. Out to left center. He's been wearing out that part of the ballpark. And he now has 7 hits in this series.
And I would say he's locked in again.
Well, you would think if your 7-hole hitter has 7 hits in 3 games, that you'd be generating lots of offense. But he's the only one hitting regularly in this series.
Nice balance. Here you see the hip shift, head down, drive the ball right through the pitcher. Goes into left center field for another base hit.
Willie Harris 0 for 1 tonight with a walk.
We just haven't been able to put a bunch of those base hits together.
None tonight. The Nats had back-to-back hits 3 times last night, but the problem was they were down 7-1 in the 3rd inning. And when they lost 8-2 on Tuesday night, they did not have any innings with back-to-back hits. Alberto Gonzalez came in on the double switch. He's next. Two and one. Well, several thousand remain through the long rain delay, and now 7 innings. Making some noise here for a rally down 3. Willie Harris rams one into right, and the Nats have 2 on, nobody out. That's Willie's first hit in the month of August, breaking an 0 for 12.
Couldn't come at a better time. Back-to-back hits. Willie Harris up at the plate.
We're about to have a pitching change here at 11:30 in our nation's capital. Edwin Rodriguez has already signaled for the bullpen. Ricky Nolasco will go 6 plus 2 hitters and leave with a 3-0 lead, but he'll be responsible for a couple of runs. So Nolasco battled tonight right here on Masson HD and Masson 2 HD. Coming up, Gonzalez. Nats are into the Florida bullpen. And by H.H. Gregg, we make buying TVs and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg, price and advice guaranteed. From the World War II Memorial down to the Lincoln, all beautifully lit up on this August evening. Lots of rain earlier tonight, a 1 hour and 57-minute delay before first pitch. And in the bottom of the 7th, with nobody out, Alberto Gonzalez steps in, representing the tying run. Is it still early enough in the game that you try to bunt the 2 runners ahead here? Or is he swinging? Interesting call for Jim Riggleman. Alberto Gonzalez has 1 sacrifice bunt this year. no sign of squaring around. Ball one from the right-hander, Jose Veras.
I think you make him throw you a strike first.
Veras is making his third appearance in this series. Gave up a run in the seventh last night on a homer by Ian Desmond, who he could face in this inning. 2-0.
Almost looks like he's trying to aim 96 and 97 mile an hour fastballs.
Ugly night for both teams, a combined 1 for 14. And the only hit of the night, Cody Ross single back in the third.
Looked a little bit smoother. Okay, now you're all set, Gonzo.
He's seen 3 heaters. Solid year for Gonzalez. 30 hits, 106 at bats. And a batting mark in the 280s. And a bouncer to short. They're going to try to hurry in turn 2 here, and they will. On a 6-4-3, despite Willie Harris trying to take out Dan Uggla. A rally killer sends Rodriguez to third with 2 outs. And that's the risk you run by having him swing away.
Good pitch by Veras. He got back in the count. Then he throws a nice jam shot fastball, and he gets the ground ball. Ramirez to Uggla. Nice try by Willie Harris. Just a hair late, but he did take out Uggla.
So the Nats had back-to-back hits for the first time tonight, and the double play hurts. Roger Bernardina steps in 2 for 3. And the fastball sizzles in. 2-0. Desmond homered off Veras last night. If not standing for a rally, at least dressed for one.
Turn your baseball caps inside out. That's a rally cap.
And Bernardino will fly to left. Under it, Logan Morrison. The double play killed the inning, and the Nats still trail by 3 into the 8th. A week from Friday, Drew Storen bobblehead night presented by Geico down in Woodbridge with the Potomac Nationals at Fitzner Stadium. First 1,000 fans receive this collector's item, and it's only appropriate because Drew collects bobbleheads. He's got his own. PotomacNationals.com. Call 703-590-2311. He pitched 7 games, 10 innings there last year. Plenty of time to become immortal with your own bobblehead. And Ugla slams one into left field, greeting Craig Stammen here in the 8th. That is just the Marlins' second hit since the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Cody Ross, 1 for 3 with an RBI single. That ball slammed by Ross. And again, some real comfortable swings by the Marlins here. Pudge with an inside target. And Ross just standing there, teeing off again, 0-2. Cody Ross in this series, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, 3 for 13. And Stammen goes with a fastball away on 0-2. Struck out Gabby Sanchez with an 0-2 curveball ending the 7th. Well, we'll see if we see the hook at some point here. Trouble lurking with Mike Stanton. There's the hook. Ross not biting, 2-2. It was 0-2. Now the count's full. Jim Riggleman has had to manage from behind by at least 3 runs in the early innings, all 3 games of the series. Runner goes. Base hit right behind him. So an 0-2 count turns into a hit and run base hit. Michael Morse drops the ball. No further advancement by the runners. And Mike Stanton will bat with a corner situation. Nobody out here in the 8th. His home run after an ugly walk in the 2nd, the difference in the game.
Yes, so far, 2 of the runs have come from that one swing of the 20-year-old rookie's bat. So the forward drive of the game goes to 20-year-old Mike Stanton, right fielder,
who's now 8 for 11 in this series with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs.
Well, it was controversial and questioned by the Marlins as he stood on third, and they went in, looked at the replay, got the home run.
Off pitch, or off speed pitch, a breaking ball up. Sean Severo of Oakton, Virginia, National League Rookie of the Year. Who is it?
Right now,
pardon me.
I would say it was Hayward. but if Stanton keeps putting up these kind of numbers,
I got to wait till the end of September
right
on that one.
Yeah.
No swing, and the count's even 1-1. Just trying to think about who else is out there. Jaime Garcia of St. Louis has struggled a bit. Strasburg, rough start. Probably not in the league long enough to be considered. Outside 2-1. Gabby Sanchez only played in 21 games last year, so he's definitely a rookie. You know, he's been there from day one this year. And of course, the Marlins have the reigning Rookie of the Year, Chris Coughlin.
Ike Davis is having a very good year for the Mets. Buster Posey having a very good year. Has absolutely transformed the San Francisco Giants offense.
Yeah, will he be considered with
depends on
probably only 4 months of action by the end of the season? Pretty good breaking ball there by Stammen. Stanton missing it, and the count's 3-2.
Very good breaking ball by Craig Stanton right there. I mean Craig Stammen, excuse me. Throwing to Stanton. Jason Hayward, 12 homers, 51 RBI, hitting 262 and 344 at bats.
Stanton already has as many homers as he does.
Yep. Gabby Sanchez right there too.
Yeah, they're all in kind of the same range. Stanton's RBIs will be coming up the more he plays. That'll be a great question. Like 1 month from today, middle of September. 3-2 with nobody out. Bases loaded.
Until the last 5 starts, I would say Mike Leake would have been considered in there.
Rookie pitchers, maybe as much as anybody, Rob, find out what a long season it really is.
Well, Matt Latos, too, out in San Diego.
And Donnie Murphy steps in 0 for 3.
Latos 12 and 5 with a 2.3 ERA.
But doesn't he have an innings threshold coming up where they will supposedly shut him down as well, much like the Nats will with Strasburg? That'll be interesting in the middle of a pennant race. Donnie Murphy, 2 for 8, 2 RBIs in the series. Nationals down by 3, 8th inning. Really can't afford to play the middle infielders too deep. That way the Marlins are shutting down the offense tonight. A 4th run would be huge. And Stammen is ahead of another hitter, 0-2.
Well, he's getting ahead easy enough. It's just putting these guys away. A wonderful 12-6 breaking ball. Ike Davis, 15 home runs, 54 driven in, hitting 250 in 100 games. I think that puts him near the top of the leaderboard.
Absolutely. And he's been there right from the start of the season. Two again. Stammen to Murphy. On a pitch under his hands, he strikes him out. Hard sinker. Stammen's second strikeout. Leaves the bases loaded with one out for the catcher, Brett Hayes.
There you see the two seams, the fingers close together, get the ball to go inside. And Ian Desmond is up there with the top rookies with his 9 homers, 48 driven in, hit 260.
Yeah, he'll be a double-digit home run guy. He already has 12 steals. I'm sure the defensive aspect and the number of errors will not help his cause. 27 of them. Hayes with a double in the second inning. Strikeout and a fly ball since, and Stammen ahead of him. Right through Pudge Rodriguez, who can't find the ball, and the Marlins lead 4-0.
Well, it's a hard-breaking ball. It does not come up. Goes right underneath the glove of Pudge Rodriguez. That one hurt.
Second and third, one out. Infield way in now with Ross at third, Stanton at second. They're about to use Chad Tracy, their only left-handed batter. Former Nat Emilio Bonifacio, the switch hitter. Wes Helms, Hector Luna, Ronnie Paulino started the first 2 games behind the plate. Got in on his hands, and that's out of play. Fastball up and away. Another strikeout. Odd outing for Stammen here. Strikeout in the 7th. 2 hits, a walk, and now 2 strikeouts, but a wild pitch. And Chad Tracy will hit now for Jose Veras, who pitched that scoreless 7th after Nolasco gave up those 2 hits. Seems like the air came out of the Nationals when Gonzalez hit into that double play. Chad Tracy, since coming over to Florida, 1 for 4 in 3 ball games. Hit 250 for the Cubs. And actually signed as a free agent by Florida August 5th. After 28 ball games with the Cubs and a batting mark of .250 with no home runs.
Well, this is the second time for Craig Stammen where he's had to go out of second inning after coming in a pivotal part of the game, get out of that jam in the 7th inning, then come back out after you sat down for a little bit. And like you said, a lot of air came out of the sails of the Nationals in that last half. But you got to keep yourself fired up as a reliever when you go out there for that second inning. And
yeah, even if you've only faced 1 hitter the previous inning.
That's happened a few times for our relievers this year. Second inning has been the toughest one for them.
He's been 0-2 on at least 3 hitters here in the 8th inning. That'll spin Tracy away. Hanley Ramirez retired his first 2 times tonight, 2 singles since, and he has 6 hits in this series. Tracy strikes out on a breaking ball down. Marlins pick up a 4th run. Ian Desmond, the number 2 man. Adam Dunn. Ryan Zimmerman ahead. Nats down by 4. Big damage, 8 hits in this series. Levon pitched 6 1/3, gave up 3 runs, and Ricky Nolasco battled his way through 6, throwing 106 pitches. Both starters needed lots of offerings to get through their evenings here. And a big at-bat back in the 5th. Nats had the bases loaded. 2 outs, Rob, and a 3-0 game. Adam Dunn up.
Well, the pitch sequence is a bad breaking ball, then a good breaking ball or 2. Fastballs, and 0 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. That's been the issue with the Nationals. So Ricky Nolasco, one of the toughest at-bats of the night, and he was up to the task.
Adam Dunn has struck out 142 times this year. Clay Hensley takes over for the Marlins, and he pitched a scoreless 8th with a hit and 2 strikeouts last night. Ian Desmond 0 for 2, hit by a pitch. 2 for 11 in the series, both of those solo homers last night. Pulled off the breaking ball, 0-2.
Good to see Tyler Clippard in the 9th. Craig Stammen due up 5th in this inning.
Gave up a run in an inning and a 1/3, striking out 4, including the side in the 8th. In fact, every man he retired, he struck out. Nats need Desmond aboard for Dunn, Zimmerman to follow. And then Michael Morris here in the 8th. Breaking ball, Desmond gone. Nats have struck out 11 times. Pardon me, 9 times tonight. And 11 outs when you throw in that double play ball by Gonzalez.
Well, a lot of really good breaking balls tonight. Some good scouting of our ball club. A lot of guys stepping in the bucket, and that means their butt's going towards the 3rd base dugout and the ball's going towards the 1st base dugout. Got to go to right field with those breaking balls from righties.
Adam Dunn 1 for 3 with a bloop base hit and 2 strikeouts. 3 for 12 in the series with a home run last night.
You got to give the Marlins pitchers some credit too. I mean, I know we're harsh on our own guys, but they're making pitches when they have to. Volstad didn't last night. We got a bunch of home runs off of him, but nobody on base to help us.
Yeah, and when you're down 7-1 before the barrage starts, very difficult.
But tonight we're getting guys on base. We're just leaving them on base.
Series opener, Nats stranded 8 last night, 7 more tonight. On a pitch up, Adam Dunn rams it up the middle, but that's where Hanley Ramirez is on the shift. 2 outs. Wow, it's midnight. 4-0 Marlins at the stroke of midnight. And a ball game delayed nearly 2 hours at the start because of a rainstorm that blew through here. And the Marlins showing every sign of sweeping this series unless the Nats get somebody on base here and quickly. Down to their final 4 outs. That bat is pointed straight up.
Bat strike 12.
We're still about 36 hours behind the rain delay total from last year. That was unbelievable. Nats have the Diamondbacks coming in for the weekend. The Marlins are off to Cincinnati. And Zimmerman slaps one out to right field. And the call by Stanton. 1-2-3 in the 8th. Marlins have the top of the order up, and it's all Florida right now. Hanley Ramirez goes up, pumping and trying to make it 5-0 to lead off the 9th.
There was a time when a guy took a free swing like that, up 4-0 in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
Could be in trouble.
Nationals have given up 21 runs on 33 hits in this series. And you could count the inside fastballs on
one hand.
One hand, maybe. Marlins about to leave town, a game over 500. Looks like they'll stay a half game ahead of the Mets in the East.
Plates right here. No. Hold.
Leadoff walk. Stammen's second. Nobody working in the bullpen. Tyler Clippard was up during the last half inning. And I'm not saying Jim Riggleman's throwing out the white flag here, but he just doesn't want to use any more pitchers than necessary. He knows what kind of ball club's coming in here for the weekend, that Arizona team that's power-packed offensively. He'd like to see Craig Stammen work a scoreless ninth. Stammen hasn't worked a scoreless relief appearance yet. And that's a fastball over but low to Logan Morrison. Morrison 1 for 4 tonight. 5 for 10 in the series. John Lannon, Joe Saunders, who threw a complete game at the Nats in Phoenix last week, tomorrow night. Slapped up the middle. Stammen knocks it down. He has a play at first. To Adam Dunn, getting a hustling Morrison for the first out.
Hits his ball right back up the middle. It's an outside pitch. Probably would have fared better if he went to left field. Stammen, big, strong, good reach, knocks it down, under control, goes and gets the ball. But Morrison made that a close play by the hustle.
Gabby Sanchez, the hitter.
Because of the presence at the plate, you would think Gabby Sanchez has 5 years in the major leagues. This guy looks very comfortable at the plate.
It is so late here that the scoreboard is showing tomorrow night's scheduled games. I wonder if they reset automatically at midnight. Never seen that before. There's your Friday schedule, National League, right there. Phillies, Mets. Marlins at Cincinnati. Braves hosting the Dodgers. Three and 0. Well, Craig Stammen taken out of the rotation upon the return of Jason Marquis and Strasburg's return. Lost Detweiler, DL'd. Craig's got to make a case for himself to stay in the bullpen. And it's not going that great. He walks him on 4 pitches. So he struck out 4 and walked 3, giving up 2 hits. And now facing Dan Ugla. And Tyler Clippard is now back up in the bullpen, and Steve McCaddy is going to pay a visit. There's not a whole lot going right with the pitching staff right now. The one bright spot in this one, Lee Vaughn gives up 3 runs in the first 3 innings and then shuts the door on the Marlins for the next 3, but because he threw so many pitches in the first 3 innings, 61, he departs with 116 in getting just 19 outs. Sean Burnett, situational appearance, struck out his only opponent, Logan Morrison, back in the 7th. As we covered the bases with Sean Burnett tonight. Dan Ugla, 2 runs scored tonight, 1 for 3. with a walk, a base hit, and he's 4 for 11 in the series. He won the game for the Marlins in his first 2 at-bats Tuesday night, driving in 4 runs against Steven Strasburg and really setting the tone for the Marlins in this series. Florida wins tonight. They will have beaten the Nats 8 out of 12 and 4 out of 6 here. Half swing, just foul. Marlins will fly to Cincinnati. No report yet on whether Brandon Phillips has called Florida any names going into that series. Better not. Josh Johnson's pitching tomorrow night. Johnson and Edinson Volquez, Sean West, Mike Leake on Saturday. Anibal Sanchez, Johnny Cueto, who's just been suspended, scheduled to pitch on Sunday.
Suspended for a week, for 7 days.
For spiking and kicking during a brawl, right?
Well, he kicked Jason LaRue, and he had to go on a disabled list with a concussion, and he spiked Chris Carpenter in the back.
You know, if you really want to hurt a pitcher, you would suspend him for, 9 days to make sure he misses 2 starts. Not 7 days, which would be really only 1. That ball slapped out to left center by Uggla. Scoring is Ramirez, and the Marlins lead 5-0. And Dan Uggla has his 5th RBI of the series. And Craig Stammen is done. He was just backing up home plate, and Jim Riggleman is following him to the mound. So Stammen will go an inning and 2/3. He will give up 3 hits, walk 3, strike out 4, throw a wild pitch, and enable the Marlins to pretty much put this one out of reach. So Tyler Clippard will get some work here in the 9th inning. One out in the inning. And this game started at 9:02. It's now a 3-hour and 10-minute ball game on top of a nearly 2-hour rain delay. Because of the Marlins' dominance of the Nats pitching staff, every one of these games over 3 hours in this series. And in each ball game, Washington has used 4 pitchers. Cody Ross, 2 for 4 with an RBI. 2 ribbies in the series for the Marlins center fielder. He gets one on the hands and pops it up to left field. Willie Harris calls off Ian Desmond, 2 outs. Here's Stanton, 1 for 2 with a homer, 2 walks. 8 for 11 in the series. He's been on base 10 times in 3 games.
Good slider.
Tyler Clippard trying to work his way back into meaningful late game situations. It's his 56th appearance. 8 wins, 6 losses. Clippard would be a pitcher where the timing, Rob, of the hits he's given up would mean everything this year, because you look at his opponent's batting average, the league's only hitting .215 against him. But he's lost 6 ball games and blown 10 save situations. Not that he's been the closer, but those situations coming in the 7th and 8th innings.
Well, he was put in a lot of tight game situations where we had the lead by 1 run or 2 runs and was not able to hold the lead. Definitely has the ability. It's just one too many changeups here, and then fall behind and walk some guys with the changeup. I think after being beaten a few times with that pitch, you put it on the shelf and just go fastball slider.
Yeah, who needs 3 pitches as a reliever, right?
You don't. What you need is a pitch to get ahead with, and then a pitch to get the guy out of there with. And he's definitely got both. And he can actually just throw fastballs and spot them, and then the high fastball on given nights, depending on if he's facing the bottom of the order or not.
3-2 pitch. Runners will be moving. Swing and a miss, and this one mercifully into the bottom of the 9th. Clippard gets a couple of outs. After the race, Thomas Jefferson has retired for the evening.
Holiday along with Ray Knight. We'll be with you with Nats Extra postgame coming up in just a couple of minutes. So the Nationals 3 outs away from being swept in this 3-game series.
Yeah, well, Nolasco just had it going, Johnny. He's got this whole pitching staff knows how to change speeds. He had a curveball that he threw at 76. His fastball topped out at 93. Had a real good little slider and a changeup. And he moved the ball around. They are very effective at moving the ball around. Anibal Sanchez the other night. We didn't see Josh Johnson, but they're a nice little pitching staff.
And, of course, Mike Stanton had a terrific series against the Nationals, but not over yet. We go to the bottom of the 9th, right back upstairs to Bob and to Rob.
Thank you, gentlemen. Michael Morse, Kevin Mensch, and Pudge Rodriguez, bottom 9. Let's have a look back at these 6+. by Ricky Nolasco. Robbie had 8 strikeouts.
Well, he had a fantastic curveball slider combination where he could just move the ball a little bit and then throw the 12-6. But he got ahead, worked ahead, and then he got our guys to swing and miss. Had a lot of 12-6 breaking balls down in the dirt, and that was the biggest one of the night. Bases loaded, 2 outs, striking out Adam Dunn.
Bert Badenhop takes over in the 9th. Some struggles of his own at 1-5 with a 4+ ERA. Michael Morse is having a very rough series. 0 for 11. 6 strikeouts, including 2 tonight. And overall, Michael is 0 for his last 13.
I think the toughest thing for young hitters to be able to cover the outside portion of the plate.
The fastball ran in on his hands. Easy play for Hanley Ramirez.
And then as he's trying to cover the outside portion, Badenhop runs some sinkers in on his hands and induces a ground ball. So right now, it's going to be a struggle until he can adjust to a lot of off-speed breaking balls. Try to be patient. Try not to swing a lot of them because they're going to try to get him to lean out over the plate. But they're not going to throw him a lot of hittable pitches because he's shown that he can hit. Now he's going to make that adjustment. That's the key to staying in the major leagues and being successful up here.
Kevin Mensch will get another pinch hitting appearance here. And a Badenhop breaking ball outside. Kevin Mensch has a nat. 1 for 4. Had a base hit in L.A. last weekend after joining the ball club. Kevin will chop one third base way. On the charge, Donnie Murphy, 2 outs. And the Nats are going quietly into the morning here. Their home record will fall to 29-26. Inside the division, they'll fall to 20-22. Some hopefuls still waiting. Nats Extra presented by Verizon Fios with Johnny and Ray coming up next. And the Nationals' losing streak will reach 5 games. Here's Pudge Rodriguez, 2 for 3. And a fastball right in there. Up the middle, Dan Ugla. And that's a quiet end to quite a long evening. 3 hours and 21 minutes on the time of the game, and the Nats are swept by their division rivals, the Florida Marlins. For Rob Dibble and Debbie Taylor, Bob Carpenter, join us Friday, NASN 2 HD. Nats open a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks. Home run haven was that series last week. We'll get you going at 6:30. This has been a presentation of Masson. Stay tuned now. Nats Extra, Johnny and Ray here at the ballpark right now. And from the